How's everybody doing? My name is Mia Musa. I'm a comedian and co-writer, co-producer for My Lor Gig. You are watching My Lor Podcast, where we sit down with Baltimore-based creatives, learn a little bit more about them, learn a little bit more about the city, and learn a little bit more about the show. So I have across from me the other co-writer and producer of My Lor Gig. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
What's going on, everybody? My name is Stephen Lee, Giga House Media. I'm a co-writer and co-producer of the show. I assisted with episode 1, and we're ready to get into episode 2.
So give us a little bit more background. How did you get into video work and production?
Originally, I was a musician, and a lot of my friends were into videography, and I saw them shooting music videos and doing short films, so I wanted to get into that too. So I started off as a hobby, and then I found a way to make it lucrative, and networking with everybody in the city. Imani from Imani Network is somebody that I grew up with, and he introduced me to you, and here we are.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. How did this project come together?
Originally, us three were networking in other endeavors, and I remember saying that I wanted to get away from just filming cars. So I asked about comedians in Baltimore, and you know all the comedians in Baltimore. So you introduced me, and we started doing our skits at your house, and we did a couple of skits with the people that are actually in the show, like Theo, for example. And from there, Imani saw it, and he had a vision, and we all came together and formed My Lor Gig.
Nice. How do you think My Lor Gig is different from like the other stuff that's been coming out of Baltimore?
A lot of people, I feel, in Baltimore have a lot of hood type of films, and ours is comedian based, but at the same time we're talking about like topics that people can relate to, as far as like with the economy and trying to keep up with rent and things like that. So it's something that people can relate to without it being about violence and other things. It's showing another side of Baltimore.
That being said, what do you feel like? There's people gonna be watching this that's not from here, that their only relationship with Baltimore is maybe The Wire, or even like TikTok or something like that. So what's some elements you want to incorporate as we continue to work on the show and just other mediums to like show people a more wide lens of Baltimore?
I want to show more of our culture, like our accent. A lot of people wonder how we live out here, outside of The Wire. So it's showing another side, a comedic side, I guess you could say.
So give me something that like, if you from here, you understand, but if you're not from here, you wouldn't even think that that's like a part of our culture. Give me something that you associate with like Baltimore culture.
As far as the places that we go to, iconic places in the city, places that we eat at. On the show, you'll see a lot of popular places in Baltimore.
So give me one example. Give me an example.
You mean from like from the first episode?
It don't gotta be from the first episode. Just Baltimore in general. We're not even talking about the show.
I mean, Graffiti Alley is somewhere that people wouldn't really know about. I'm guessing people outside of Baltimore would just think about the Inner Harbor, or maybe some place they saw on The Wire.
So what's Graffiti Alley?
Graffiti Alley is somewhere close to like people recognize the Freddie Gray situation. That probably is maybe about 8 minutes away from here. North Avenue is a real popular street, and where we're recording is in the area, in Graffiti Alley, North Avenue area.
So Graffiti Alley is what though?
Graffiti Alley is a real artsy alley that has graffiti all over it. People have shot music videos, podcasts, movies. People do photography. People probably are outside right now taking pictures in front of it.
As we were walking in, it was a bunch of women and girls out there
Taking
kind of
pictures.
doing like random
Yep.
photo shoots amongst themselves. I kind of feel like they were tourists. Like this has become a destination spot, which I think is really funny
Right,
because I
they
think
like
if you
that.
say, yeah, because it was like you see it on line or something, or if it is like, oh, you should check this part out. And I think people have gotten really good at like making the city look really good. And it's just like this area is cool, but it also can be a little sketchy. And so I'm always curious, like if people are coming from outside and they don't know what to expect, like how they feel as they're approaching, and also how comfortable people feel being in the alley, because I was always raised not to go in alleys. And again, this alley is cool. I've been coming to this alley for over a decade, but I feel like it still got some alley elements sometimes. Like you never know what you about to run
It
into.
looks different in the daytime than at nighttime.
Yeah. I've definitely like had to kind of what's it called, like shake up rats or like
Keep your head on the swivel.
on the swivel, because you just never know. And I think for me, I think that's one thing that I kind of want to showcase with the show, is that you never know what you about to walk into or run into, and that's good or bad. Like I think Baltimore is like a real fun and interesting place, because you literally can turn the corner and it can be a whole nother situation. And you bring up graffiti out, and I've had that happen where like I'm pulling up and I turn the corner and it's a Bador shoot or something. Like somebody is like, it don't make no sense. And then you turn the other corner, because there'll be multiple things happening at the same time. And it's somebody with their car and hood popped up and they doing a whole rap video, and then there'll be somebody doing a fashion shoot and they got on a ballet outfit. Like you just never know. And I think the whole city is like that. And I don't think people realize that the whole city, like, so we have been running My Lor Gig in the festival circuit. And when I was in LA, somebody had was reading the list and they saw that it was out of Baltimore.
Right.
And it piqued their interest because they thought about they knew of John Waters, right?
Okay.
And so John Waters is this iconic director, out of Baltimore, and he's been doing his thing since like the 60s, 70s. And he's known for being weird, and I think, he's kind of had this lock on being weird, but of course he's a white man, and a lot of his content is from the white perspective, Patterson Park, Hamden, like these neighborhoods. And I think that Baltimore as a whole kind of has that weirdness to it, but we don't often see that from the black perspective. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. You have to really come here, because until you come here and you actually see people, you'll learn that people are very diverse. With fashion, with the music they listen to, the hobbies they're interested into. Also with Baltimore, our dance culture is real big. I don't know how people outside of our city think about that. They know it's more than whatever dance they see on TV or YouTube.
That's real. I always said that for Baltimore, like dance and probably comedy could really put Baltimore on the map.
That's true.
Because I think those are like, one, it's like a huge part of, has been a huge part of our everyday. Like I remember growing up and people doing dance battles in the middle of the street, but also it's like a thing to join on one another, kind of make fun, be funny, it's just kind of like a funny place. And with TikTok and just other social media being available, that seems like it's become true. Like you're seeing people know it for like the dance culture, or know it for certain comedic influences. So that's been interesting and funny to watch.
I'm learning recently that the hashtag on TikTok, there's a TikTok DMV, TikTok Baltimore, and it has like 1 million people subscribe to that. So it is big.
Okay, actually, that's what we need to add on to this or that. Okay, is Baltimore part of the DMV?
That's true. People try to argue. I would say it is, but a lot of people in the DC area and PG, they try to fight with me. I say DMV stands for DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and Baltimore is in Maryland.
I don't agree.
To me. So you want to?
I'm one of them people. I don't agree.
Wait, isn't Baltimore in Maryland? Or would you?
Isn't Richmond in Virginia? That's still not a part of DMV. I always grew up knowing that DMV included the parts of Maryland and Virginia that surround DC. I don't see us as being a part of that. I feel like they got a distinct culture, and we're not a part of that, and that's fine.
That is true. Virginia does have their own culture, but I always thought that DMV stood for DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
It do, but it's the Maryland and Virginia, just outside of DC. So the parts that you could get to from the metro, that's the DMV. If you can listen to WPGC and them other radio stations without it blanking out, then you in the DMV.
Okay, so that's like, I feel like the tri-state area probably has the same argument because Philly and New Jersey, they kind of have the same talking points that we have with, like how you just said, with Baltimore and Virginia.
Exactly, because Southern Jersey, outside of Philly, if it's Camden and Philly, they're gonna have similar culture,
right?
But Trenton, Newark is not a part of that. But Trenton, Newark would be a part of some New York stuff,
Yeah.
So people always say that. And I've heard people that claim that they started the term and they said that they did start it to include everybody. And like even there's a festival that's happened, DMV made, and they included Baltimore in that. And people are looking at it as a way on the national level, because that's how other people understand it, as like good for marketing. So I guess I understand that, but sometimes when you try to include too many things, then you end up washing out the unique parts of a culture that make it what it is. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to do too much to figure out where they meet in the middle, and then you cut out those other parts. So I don't know. Like, I know that probably on a business tip, like we could probably do better if we just like, oh, we doing this. Because if you think about it, like if people are traveling in BWI and they think about the region as a whole together, because again, if I go to New York, it's going to take me 40 minutes to get from Manhattan to Brooklyn or Harlem,
Yeah.
And so that's nothing to go from DC or Baltimore on one trip, and include that in your travels instead of thinking about it as distinctive places. But I'm still adamant, I don't care. It's not a part. All right. I feel like we can wrap up this segment. Is there anything else you want to share, or anything else you got going on you want the people to know about?
Man, you just have to see it. If you haven't seen trailers on YouTube or looked at our behind the scenes of My Lor Gig, you're in for a treat. This is definitely a good show. I mean, stay tuned to that. Outside of that, Baltimore has a really big film scene, and with the comedians together. I would just say do your research. It's more to Baltimore than the stereotypes.
Absolutely. And I just want to put on record that I call Steve like the heart of the project. It was his energy and his connection that kind of put the pieces together, and kind of keep it moving. And so his presence and his work on it is certainly appreciated. So again, stay tuned for everything. Stay tuned for the rest of My Lor Podcast. Make sure you support My Lor Gig. We are looking for sponsors, investors, and people who just want to be involved. We really want to use this as an opportunity to showcase the talent of Baltimore and showcase the unique stories of Baltimore. So the more people involved and the more people supporting it, the better. So thank you.
Shout out to Imani Network.